Let's be completely honest for a second. If you take $500, put it into a standard index fund, and wait for the stock market to make you rich, you've been completely lied to. At an 8% return, you are making $40 a year. 40 bucks. That doesn't change your life, it doesn't pay your rent, and it sure as hell doesn't get you out of the daily grind that's draining your soul. The truth is, the advice you've been fed by the internet gurus is designed to keep you exactly where you are. But the top 1%? They look at $500 completely differently. They don't see a tiny savings account to hide away. They see a weapon. They see seed capital for a system that creates rapid, unstoppable velocity. Welcome to Capital Chris, the place where we break down the quiet truths about wealth that the system hides from you. If you're tired of the generic, recycled financial advice and want to actually build a blueprint that moves the needle, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps a small creator like me immensely, and we can build this wealth together. Think about the psychological exhaustion of waking up every single day, looking at your bank account, and feeling that heavy, sinking pit in your stomach. It's the feeling that no matter how hard you work, no matter how many extra hours you clock in, you are just running in place on a treadmill that someone else controls. It's a quiet, suffocating panic. You see people online flexing luxury cars and automated cash flow, and you wonder what secret meeting you missed out on. You ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? It's not a lack of luck. It's a lack of understanding capital velocity. When you have a small amount of money, say $500, traditional investing is actually your enemy if you're trying to build immediate freedom. You don't have 30 or 40 years to wait for compound interest to turn $500 into a couple thousand. You need that money to work for you right now, dynamically and aggressively. To understand how the 1% actually do this, we need to completely redefine what money is. Let's look at this like we are 5 years old. Imagine money isn't paper or numbers on a screen. Imagine your $500 is a tiny bucket of magical green seeds. The average person takes those seeds and does one of two things. They either trade all their seeds immediately for a shiny new toy, a new pair of shoes, a night out, a gadget that will sit in a drawer collecting dust in 6 months, or they bury those seeds deep in the cold ground of a low-interest bank account. When you bury them in a bank account, it's like a big scary monster called inflation comes by and slowly steals a few seeds every single night. Both of these choices come from a place of deep fear and sadness. It's the underlying belief that $500 is just too small to ever matter, so why even try? But the 1% blueprint starts with a total explosion of that mindset. You have to stop viewing money as a toy to buy or a seed to bury. You have to view it as energy that needs to move, adapt, and grow. Think about the concept of asymmetry. That's a big, fancy word, but let's make it simple. Imagine a game where if you lose, you can only lose one small candy bar. But if you win a giant mountain of chocolate. That is asymmetric risk. Your downside is tiny, but your upside is massive. The regular stock market doesn't give you this game when you only have $500. To get these giant wins, you have to play a different game. You have to invest in your own superpower first. Imagine taking $150 out of your bucket and using it to buy a special key, like a specific technical certification or access to a powerful software tool that fixes a giant headache for local businesses in your town. Let's say you buy a software tool that automatically writes perfect schedules for busy restaurants. If that one tool allows you to walk up to just one stressed-out business owner and solve their problem for $300 every single month, your return on investment isn't a measly 10%. It is hundreds of percent. You have upgraded your own ability to make money, creating a permanent, flowing river of cash that no stock market crash can ever dry up. Once you have that superpower, you move to the next part of the blueprint, rapid turnover, which is just a simple way of saying buying and flipping. Think of it like this. Imagine you walk into a garage sale or look online and you see a beautiful, expensive bicycle covered in dark mud. The person selling it is tired, lazy, and just wants it gone, so they sell it to you for $50. You take that muddy bike home. You spend 2 hours scrubbing it clean, pumping up the tires, and making it shine like new. The next day, You sell that clean bike to someone else for $200. You didn't just save money, you created velocity. You turned $50 into $200 in 24 hours. That is how real wealth is built from absolute scratch. It is the active, high-energy turnover of small amounts of capital over and over again through sweat and focus until your pile of money is finally big enough to safely pour into passive investments. Only when you have created this active, breathing cash flow engine do you finally look at the traditional stock market. You take the remaining piece of your $500 and you completely automate it so you don't even have to think about it. You don't guess individual stocks. You don't chase crazy meme coins because of a fear of missing out, and you don't cry or panic when the red lines go down on the evening news. Instead, you set up a simple digital pipe using modern micro-investing apps. This pipe automatically takes a small, steady sip of your new cash flow and drops it safely into broad, total market index funds. Think of this like building a massive stone anchor for a ship. The purpose of this anchor isn't to find an overnight jackpot. The purpose is psychological. It completely rewires your brain. It trains your mind to realize that you are no longer just a consumer standing in line to give your money away. You are now an owner of the global economy. It builds the identity of a person who accumulates wealth systematically and calmly. The tragic reason so many people fail, and the reason someone can feel completely trapped, hollow, and broke for years, isn't because they aren't trying hard enough. It is because they lack a deep emotional commitment to a singular, simple system. People get incredibly excited by a video or an idea. They try it with high energy for 3 days, but then they get bored, lonely, or frustrated when the instant gratification doesn't hit them immediately. So they quit. They drop their tools, walk away, and go back to the sad comfort of complaining that the entire world is rigged against them. And look, let's be real. Parts of the world are absolutely rigged. But the mathematical rules of capital are universal and unbiased. Money doesn't care about your excuses. It flows toward utility, speed, and absolute discipline. If you truly want to break out of the exhausting cycle of feeling stuck and invisible, you have to start treating your life and your finances like a professional, high-end operation. Stop looking at your current struggles as your permanent identity. Your low bank account balance, your lack of progress, your stressful day job. Those are not who you are. Those are just the echoing shadows of decisions you made months ago. They are the past. Who you are today is defined entirely by where you choose to direct your heart, your focus, and your capital right now in this very moment. If you take that $500 and aggressively execute this exact blueprint, splitting it between automated market consistency, high-velocity flips, and undeniable skill upgrades, you aren't just trying to make a quick buck anymore. You are actively stepping into the mindset of the top 1%. It takes immense courage to look at a small, limited amount of resources and decide to build an empire anyway. It takes a rare kind of bravery to stand up in a world full of doubters and say that the standard, slow timeline isn't good enough for you. But the alternative is staying exactly where you are right now, watching other people live the beautiful, free life you always wanted, while you sit in the dark wondering what could have happened if you had just taken the risk. Don't let fear write the script of your life. Take the $500, choose the path of maximum velocity, and build the system. Thank you for spending your valuable time with me here at Capital Chris. Keep pushing, keep investing smartly, and I will see you in the next video.